as Jordan said, I like to keep a pretty heavy personal calendar. I do believe that your personal business is part of your key to success in this business, because if you have a strong personal calendar, you're going to be hitting those sales goals, and you're going to be getting the recruits. So it all starts back to your personal business. I know for my team leaders, if they're struggling, I always go back to how many parties do you have booked right now. I tell my girls to have at least 8 to 12 parties on their calendar. If you're looking to promote up, maybe even a little bit more than that. Obviously, more is always better, because you're always going to have those people who are going to flake, or who are going to have those $0 parties. And guess what, girls? I have them too. Had one this week. So it does happen, and you'll have those people who need to reschedule or to cancel. So if you just make sure that you plan your calendar so that you are prepared for all of that, those little bumps in the road are not going to be a big deal. Now, some of the ways that I did that is when I started, I didn't do just one party for myself. I actually did 3. I really got out of my comfort zone. Because I was loving these books. Like, I did my first party and I'm like, these are amazing. I want everybody to know that I'm doing this. So I literally took a piece of paper. I wrote down, I got way out of my comfort zone. I wrote down everybody's name who had kids, was a mom, grandma, aunt, teacher, teacher. You name it. If they had kids, most people have kids in their life. So I wrote down everybody's name. And then I grouped them, and I said, okay, I'm going to invite these people to this party, these people to the next one, and these people to the last one. Now, even if you have not, even if you've been, I think you guys are all leaders, right, Jordan?
Yeah. No, not everybody is a leader.
Not everybody's a leader. Okay, well, leader regardless or not, because this is something that you can still do. This is a great way to really make your business personal. And when I did those invites, I didn't just say, hi, I'm having a party. I really made it personal. Hey, Jordan, I'm having a party with Usborne Books and More. I love these books. My girls are just amazed with them. And I thought, I think I'm going to mess up their names. Is Bram and Evie?
Eva. Close, real close.
I thought that they would really enjoy them too. So you might have to do a little bit of poking around on Facebook and figure out people's names. But I tell you what, guys, being personal really goes a long way. I have people tell me no all the time. Guys, probably like more than 10 a day. But you have to power through. You cannot let a no get to you, because with every no, there's a yes right around the corner. So just real big side note here, just talking about no's and stuff. I had a girl who booked a party, but okay, so I posted my link for my VIP group one day, and she joined. And this is part of me getting personal. So there is a point to my little off track here, but I will get back on track. And she joined my VIP page, and I saw that she had been following my stuff. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey girl, I know that you joined my page. I'm so excited. Would you like to have a party to get some free books for Jack? So she booked a party in February. Then she ghosted me for a while. And then she ended up canceling. And now this is awkward, because it wasn't just a random person. Like, she was a friend of a friend. I knew who she was. I see her. I'm like, why is she ghosting me? This is so awkward. So then she ended up rescheduling for March. She did the same thing. She was ghosting me and finally just canceled, flat out canceled. And I was like, all right, flash forward a couple months. This summer, she signed up for my book club. And this, I'm going to go back around for being personal too. This summer, she signed up for my book club, and I was like, okay, I really need to wow her. She's never seen these books before. What can I give her that is going to make her be like, Usborne, these are amazing. So of course, she has a 2-year-old. What do I send her? All Better. That's as the very first book. So then her little boy was in Vacation Bible School with my daughter. And I saw her, and she's like, hey, Amber, oh my gosh, Jack is loving All Better. He will not put it down. We literally read it like 3 or 4 times a day. And I was like, awesome. Now, mind you, in the meantime, she had been voluntarily joining in the Peek Inside events, voluntarily. I never messaged her about it, because I was like, I'm just going to let that sit for a little bit. And in the meantime, too, I've been liking her stuff, commenting, really trying to build that personal relationship. Because remember, she was a friend of a friend. And even if you don't know these people, these are great ways to really get a strong bond with people on Facebook, and to get to know them on a more personal level. So you're not just selling to them. You want to make it more relational in this business too. So she said that, and I was like, okay, great. So then the other day I messaged her and I was like, hey, just wanting to see how Jack was liking his second round of books. She wrote me back immediately. He loves them. He still will not put down All Better. I want to book a party next month. She's like, and I'm actually thinking about joining your team. Okay, so that is just an example of like how you can get down, because I was like really hurt, man. Like I was like, I thought we were friends. Like I can't believe you just ghosted me for a second time. But you know what? It happens. It happens to everyone, no matter what level you are at. And so I tell you that story because I want that to kind of lead into the rest of the stuff I'm saying, because I don't give up. And I think that is a key to this business. Like you cannot give up. You're going to have ups and downs. It is a roller coaster of a business. Every day is different, but you have to keep funneling through. So going back to that personal calendar, ask everyone, don't assume. If you have not gone through your entire friends list, definitely do that, man. You are missing out on so many people. My best friend never hosted for me, but girls that I went to high school with that I have not seen in 10 years, like they're some of my best customers. And I feel like we're besties now. Like they're commenting in my VIP group. You know, they might not have hosted for me, but they're some of my best customers. Got one girl who, she does these themed slumber parties all the time. And every time she does a new one, she messages me, hey, I'm doing a jungle party this month. What can I get for Lainey? So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. So don't assume, even if they tell you no, that they won't come around eventually. Build that relationship with them.
Amber, I want to ask you a question real quick before you move on, because I know you're talking about getting out of your comfort zone, and you and I have talked about this before. Are you naturally an outgoing person?
I am not. I am very much a shy person. So for me to go through my entire friends list, like that was huge for me. And even like now I do a booking blitz every month. And I have to like pump myself up because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I get nervous. I'm like, I can't do this. I start telling myself all these negative thoughts that are just not true. And then I sit down and I have to think to myself, like, you know what? There's nothing to lose here. The only people that are going to know what happens in that conversation are you and them. You're not blasting it in front of a whole room. You're just talking to that one person, and it's a relationship thing. And no, I'm really not outgoing. Like when I see people, we've talked about it before. Like when I saw Jordan at a director event, she's like, hey girl. And I was like, she's talking to me. And I saw her later and she's like, hey girl. And I was like, oh, she is talking to me. So, I mean, that just like you don't have to be outgoing in this business to be successful. You just have to love what you do. You have to share your enthusiasm and your excitement for the product in everything you do, from your posts, your personal posts, to your VIP page, to your party. And I'll get to the parties too. Hope that answered your question.
Okay, can I ask you a question while you are still on this? You just said that you do a booking blitz every single month, and maybe you'll get to this later, but I'm like, whoa, like you keep a full calendar, but you still do a booking blitz every single month. So can you like share with us what that looks like and what you do?
I do a booking blitz every month because you know what? Like I said, people will cancel, and sometimes it's just out of my control. I feel like August has been very tough. I usually book 3 parties a night because I don't like when people cancel on me. And honestly, guys, I've had a third of my parties cancel this month. It's either been rescheduling. I had one girl whose her dad was in a really bad accident. I mean, just like little things that have happened. 2 parties I had to give away to like recruits that joined later. So it's like every day I have like one less. And then I look at my next calendar. So, what I do is this is my 3rd year I've been doing it. I'll be doing this 3 years in October. Well, basically November. So I don't have it with me, but I have a Mac and I print off a calendar every single month and I write down who hosts for me. So then afterwards, I tuck those away after the month is over. I tuck them away. So that way next year I can pull it out and be like, hey girl, it's been about a year since your last party. Do you have any interest in restocking your shelves with some free books? So I go through the people. So like next week, I'll be going through September 2017 and September 2016 and reaching out to those hosts and seeing who will come back and do another party. And then I also keep a list of people in my parties who either have, who bought a lot of books or who said, not right now. If you don't have a pencil and paper by your computer when you're working your parties, make sure you do that. Anybody that's like, oh, not right now, maybe in the fall, I always write their name down. Okay, I'll check back with you. And make sure that you do. Make sure you do. People do appreciate that. And even if they don't say no right away, you know, they might come around. So I go through those people. And then sometimes I just have friends like in my back pocket that I'll message as well. But mostly it's just my maybe list, and then sometimes from my VIP group as well. Anybody who's been recently commenting, I'll reach out to them. So I said, ask everyone, do not assume, offer incentives to host. If I'm trying to fill my calendar, I will offer some incentives, like an extra $20 in books at the end of their qualified party. That's only $7 out of my pocket. If they can at least get me to $100, then I can probably get another booking as well. The way that I find the most success is actually in my parties. I message everyone who comes and I ask them if they'd be interested in hosting. And sometimes I even ask the host, like, hey, do you have any friends who might be interested in this as well? If they don't, say anything. But I find that people are not commenting on the booking post. So you have to personally message in order to get into their inbox. And even if they say, not right now, definitely write them down for later. Another big thing with booking, and this can go for recruiting too, is that you need to figure out how to overcome objections and figure out, are they telling you no, or are they just giving you an objection? I get a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, girl, I'm so busy. And I'm like, okay, I totally know, back to school is crazy. I always validate whatever they're saying. Back to school is crazy. I know how it is. I'm running ragged right now too. I'm actually booking for next month. Would that have any interest to you? So even if you aren't booking for next month, just throw it out there and see what they say. Because a lot of times if they tell you that, then they'll say, oh yeah, that would be better. Because sometimes people can't think like outside of what's going on right now. Maybe they had a really crazy day and they're just like frazzled or whatever. Maybe they just have a lot of stuff going on right at that moment. I told you they would come in, didn't I? See? Mm-mm. Maybe they're, maybe they are, just busy right now at that moment. But if you throw out the next month, they're going to be more likely to say yes and be open to that as well. Sometimes they'll tell you they don't have any friends. Well, guys, I don't believe that you don't have any friends when you have 1,000 people on your friends list. So I will help you find people who want to come to your party. So make sure you can say that as well. What's another common objection? Not tech savvy. I've had that before. You do all the work, that's awesome. You're, no problem. You don't need to be tech savvy at all. I actually just give you a copy and paste message to send to your friends. And another one I get is like no time. I use the same copy and paste thing. I don't have any time to host. Oh, I totally know. I have 3 kids myself and it's kind of crazy, but I find it's really easy to host. All you have to do is take 20 minutes to send out the invites and I do the rest. I just need 40 minutes, just like tonight. And that's all. Because honestly, like if they're at the party, don't tell me you don't have any time. You're at the party. So it's only 40 minutes. Anybody that cancels on me, I try to reschedule them first before they cancel. I mean, if they're just like not into it, that's fine. But let's say they're trying to give me excuses, I'll try to rebook them for the next month. Sorry guys, I'm looking at my list here. One thing,
questions in the chat too, Amber.
Oh, there is. Okay, sorry. I had my thing here. I'll move it to the other side. Doing a booking blitz each month. Nope, I don't message the same people regularly. Some people I will circle back around. I've been doing this for quite a while and I do a lot of parties, so I have a pretty long list. So I might go to the list and say, okay, I'm going to do a booking blitz with like 1 page of people. And then if they don't respond, then I'll come back to them later. But one thing I do when I'm doing the booking blitz is I don't expect to get a response right away. And that's one thing about this business too. You need to be patient and persistent. When I send out my first round of messages, I usually don't expect to hear from too many people. I just send it out, let them think about it. And then 2 or 3 days later, I'll check back in and just say, hey, I know that, or I'll just say, hey, just wanted to check in and see if you got my message the other day. Do you have any interest in taking me up on my offer to stock your shelves with some free books? So that's usually what I do, just something. And keep your messages to people short and sweet. You don't want to overload them with information and make them back down. Just like 2 or 3 sentences, always end in a question too, because you want them to write back. Okay. Yeah, you have to be patient in this business. I know when I started, I mean, I asked questions all the time, like, how do you get all your bookings? And it just kind of happened. Like, I started just like everyone else. I started with one party, and then I turned that one party. I got like 4 or 5 of my friends to host for me. And then from there I booked. So it just kind of ballooned out to where, I'm not even kidding you, like last year in October, Facebook got so mad at me. I had like 4 people down every day. And they're like, no. So I had to back off on that. But one thing I want you guys to do too is to, I talked about reaching out to past hosts once a year and having a maybe list, but you have to keep your eye in your own lane, because it's easy to get distracted. Like if you're poking around those number boards, it's very easy to be like, well, why can't I book parties like so-and-so? Why can't I have a team that's always on the exec board? And, da. Remember to, the only person that you should be in a competition with is yourself. You should be wanting to beat your numbers every month. Say you had $500 in sales last month. That's awesome. That's $500 in sales. You got $500 in books to kids. Okay. Work on trying to get that next month to $600. What can you do? Try to get one more party on your calendar. So I have a competition with myself. I look at, month to month for myself. And then I look at years, like this August versus last August, that type of thing. I don't use Squee. I am very gold, and I don't like change too much. Eventually I will get on it, but I'm also in the middle of a cross-country move, and right now I'm all by myself with 3 kids, so something had to give. I can't get into that right now. How do you have 3 parties in the same? Yes, I do stagger the start times, so I might do 2 parties at 8 o'clock and 1 party at 8:30. So then I'm bouncing back and forth between the 2, and then the other one starts, and then I'm just kind of bouncing. I have 3 different windows open, and I find that it's easier. I haven't done Squee, but I find that Facebook's easier to be able to go back and forth. But like I said, I haven't done Squee, so I'm not sure how that works. I don't go live, Jordan, because my schedule with my kids and stuff, like obviously I'm doing this live right now, and my daughter is sitting here staring at me and making me nervous. Like it's just not, it's not predictable. Like they're going to be coming in all the time. And with my husband being gone right now, I can't do that. So I need to be able to walk away for a second. Make sure that you also set some goals for yourself, whether it's financial or personal or both. Obviously, if you don't have some goals in mind, especially financial, because obviously that's why you want to work your business. You want to make money. If you don't have financial goals in mind, whether it's paying for a vacation or paying off your car or whatever, then you truly have no motivation to work. So I always make sure that I have big goals, and I have them right next to my computer so I can always see it, so I always know what I'm working towards. And always reevaluate your why. Why are you doing this? And come back to that. My big thing was, I do this business because I want to better the life for my family and give them an ability to be able to travel, which we couldn't do before. I always also work my business number 1, and then I help my team. Every day when I sit down, I touch my personal business. So I have a sheet next to my computer with all of the people that I need to reach out to, whether it is following up with a past host from earlier the week, or the people that I have going on right then, or the people I'm starting up for the following week. I always have a list of everyone's name, and I go through one by one and cross them off after I reach out to them every single day. So I always touch my business every day. Another thing is I talked about finding your passion. When you're on Facebook, I'm so guilty of this myself. It's easy to do a lot of non-income producing activities. So one thing that I like to do is make sure that when I'm on Facebook, like I am on to work, like that is my workspace. So I'm either booking parties, I'm working with my recruits, I'm working on customer care, or I'm working on my VIP group. Make sure that you're not like mindlessly scrolling. There's a good way to do that. I know, I don't know if you guys talk to Britton at all, but I know she has people like grouped, like you can group things on Facebook. Like I group my hosts and stuff like that. So then you can easily scroll through and like things. You can talk to people through there as well. How often do you post in your VIP group? Oh, did she? Britton's awesome. I love Britton. She's one of my Uzzies. I post in my VIP group. It kind of depends. I post 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes 4. I try not to be like super annoying. One thing I do in that group too is I try not to be salesy, and I think that my people like it. I don't drop my link. If I ever put a link like for a book or whatever, I'll usually put it in the comments. But I do a lot of just sharing. I share these books with my kids, or I share fun articles about reading. I don't do a lot of, hey, buy this book. I have this book for sale today. I don't do a lot of that. I just do more of the personal stuff. Like we did an example, and I can pass it on to Jordan and Aaron and show them. But a couple weeks ago, we did a bear hunt with my kids, or I did it because my husband was gone. So we went on a bear hunt. We made these little binoculars. We made maps. So I like to do crafts and stuff like that. And then we read a bunch of bear books. We got some bears from Build-A-Bear because it was that Build-A-Bear craze that was going on. We had our coupons. We went back and did that. So I did this whole post about this bear hunt thing, and I got a ton of likes on it. And people saying, oh my gosh, this is such a great idea. I'm going to do it with my own kids. And then I always share, I think we shared like Goldilocks and 3 Bears. So I had my kids reading it with the mask and stuff like that. Because people love seeing your kids with the books. And put yourself, something that I have started doing is putting myself in there too. So take a picture with your kids, reading the book or whatever, just so that they can see your face. Because you want people, when they think of Usborne, you want people to think of you. So I talked about touching my business daily. One thing I do want to mention is if you are not yet a leader, if you are working towards leadership, I highly, highly recommend it because it really opens your eyes to so many new people. I know before I was a leader, I was kind of suctioned into our little team, but once you become a leader, you can really branch out and you can meet new people and you can network and stuff. And I just sat on those pages and scrolled and just read everything from all the top leaders in the company. And I cannot remember who said this. I wish I remembered, but I don't. But somebody once told me what you do now in your business determines where you're at 6 months from now and 6 months after that. And that really resonated with me. When I really decided that I was going to go for it in this business, I remembered and kept playing that over and over in my head. And Ian Lyon was my director at that time, and she had us book 12 parties for January. That was my very first January, and I was like, I got this 12. I booked 20. I was going for Express Success that month. Jordan, that's only half month for me. But I booked 20, and I was like, I've got this. And I was able to pass off to some of my recruits. And that was how I was able to, they ran those parties and I was able to promote Express Success. And I just remember that, like what you do now determines where you are 6 months from now. I sat there and I messaged because I wanted I think they were giving away a free new release. And I just wanted those 12 parties. And then once I got them, then I kept wanting more. So I was like, I'm going to book every day. So it definitely, persistence pays off, and determination will definitely get you places. And another thing to remember too is if you want those high rides, you have to work this like a full-time income. If you want this to be a full-time income, you have to work it like that. I'm a true believer in practicing what I preach. I don't tell my team to book 8 or 12 parties on their calendar if I'm not doing the same. So I truly, truly believe that in order to increase your business and to make it go to a level that you want to, you do need to have a strong personal business. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, they're quiet.
How many people do you typically recruit a month, and do you have a goal for the number of people that you want to recruit each month? Tell us a little more about your recruiting style strategy.
I don't usually, I always want to hit HOC too. Like that is like non-negotiable for me. I missed it 1 month since I started, and I did not realize that there is an excellence award, and I was so bummed. not this past year, the year before, when I went to convention, and I was like, oh, I missed that for one recruit, just one. And so I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm going to get it next year. And I did. Made it my mission. So, I mean, it definitely depends every month. Some months are easier than others. Sometimes I get 5 to 6 recruits, and sometimes I'll get one. Like last month, I got one in July, and I didn't get her until like the 27th. I was like, I'm going to lose it this month. I'm not going to do it. But then I just had to have a real chat with myself and said, you know what, Amber, you can do this. You can go out and find that recruit. You're going to go find her. So I did. I found her. It was a past host, and she ended up signing up. So I actually just pretty much recruit like the people that are hosting for me. I usually ask them before their party. I'd be interested to know other people how they do it, because I know sometimes they get a bunch of recruits and stuff from doing other things. But I usually just, the things we tell ourselves, yes, for sure. Your mindset is huge. Sometimes before a booking blitz too, like I'll put some happy music on. Like Jordan, I remember when you got your award last year, you walked across the stage. I think it was on Girl on Fire. And I'm like, that is the good song. That's a good song. So play that song if you need to pump yourself up, because I know January is like really a tough month. I had that on repeat. Even my little mom, if I put that song on, she's like, Girl on Fire. So find a song that will pump you up. Book recommendations. I don't do like big wish lists or anything like that. I just type out like 2 or 3 books per party. I actually have a bunch of friends who posted for me, so I asked them if they found the book recommendations helpful or not, and they said that it was honestly like didn't really matter. So I have not really been putting a lot of effort into that. I just underneath like the how old post, I'll give them like 2 or 3 books that I think that they might like. And that's per kid, and that's how I do it. I used to put like the picture, but it was just too time consuming, so I just do the typing out thing right now. I don't do anything other than parties. I do a big book drive every year. So that's what I do there. But going back to parties too, I did want to hit on that. Make sure that you're putting yourself in the parties, because I think that is helpful. Make it like personalized to you, whether it's just one book video or one picture of yourself or whatever. I think like videos really help. I know when I joined under Natalie Nicholson, and one thing that really like caught my attention was that she had a book video and she looked like a normal person. And I was like, I could totally do this. Like, she's just sitting at home right now on Facebook posting these links. Like, why can't that be me? So make sure that you put yourself in the video so people can not only start to see you, start to envision themselves doing what you're doing, but also make that personal connection with you. So that way when, like I said, when they think of Usborne, they think of you. When I found out when I say I went out and found a recruit, how did you do this? Okay, so I didn't go out and find a recruit. I'll be honest with you. she reached out to me, but I did not back down until she signed up. So that's how that happened. I had a couple people who were kind of like on the fence, and I just made sure that I reached out to them consistently and answered all their questions. When you recruit somebody though, make sure that you're making it about them. Because honestly, it is about them. It's not about you and your business. It's about them. Give them bite-sized chunks of information when you're talking with them, and don't overload them. I know somebody was trying to recruit me for another business, and one reason why I didn't go with her is because I felt like it was impersonal. Every time I'd ask a question, she would have a long thread for me, and I'd have to scroll up, and I was like, I can't do like that's just too much. Like, I thought it was overwhelming, so I couldn't do it. But when Natalie was recruiting me, she gave me short bite-sized chunks of information, and she really took the time to find out about me. She was asking about my kids, what I do during the day, because I gave her all the excuses. I'm not a salesperson. I don't have any time. I'm not outgoing. I mean, I gave her all the excuses. As far as the Facebook jail, I found that 4 parties in a night is a no-no. Like that is instant. Like you're in the slammer. So I don't do that anymore. And if I accidentally book 4 in a night, like next week I have 4, but I'm thinking one of them will cancel because I can usually kind of tell if they will. Then I will run it from my husband's profile. But that's not very often that I do that. And I also stagger them. I cut my Facebook party down a little bit. So instead of having like 14 posts in the party like I had been having, I only have like 9 or 10. So I cut my party down. And it also saves me time as well. I don't do a lot of pre-party. I do 1 post per day leading up to the event because I don't want to annoy them. We've all been in those Facebook parties that are never ending. I had a friend who I did a party for. She was posting 10 times a day. And I was like, for like a whole week, I'm like, this is the never ending party. I can't even handle that. So I don't want to annoy people. I want to inform them and get to know them without annoying them. And then, like I said, yeah, 10 posts, and then I'll extend it like 2 more days. Yeah, I just do 1 template. I think it was Laura Schagel had mentioned this before. Like I see so many people that are like, how many templates do you do or how often do you switch it up? I only switch it up for the new releases. So I do the same exact script every single night until the new releases come out, and then I'll make new videos and make a new script for a couple different reasons. I want my hosts to be hosting the party and interacting with their friends. And I also want it to be easily replicable. Is that the right word? Because if they see something that they're like, oh, I could totally do this, then they're more likely to want to join. They think that they can do it too because, hey, homegirl over there, she's just on the same party for the last 3 nights. I could do that too. She's just on Facebook, like posting the same thing. I can totally do that. Like I want it to make sure that it's like easy enough for them to do. And it takes a while to do those videos. I do 4 videos. I do, my setup for my parties is a fiction, a nonfiction, an activity, and then my favorites. So I just have 4 videos in my parties. I used to do 5, but then after I got to Facebook jail, Laura's like, you need to cut some of this out.
How long are your videos?
They're less than 5 minutes. So I try to like fit in like 10 to 12 books, a wide range in there. I know some people do like older fiction, younger fiction. I just don't get a lot of older people. So I'll put like a couple chapter books at the end and a couple older books at the end just so they can see those as well. I do my parties in events because as I said, I am gold. Could not make that switch. And since I do so many, I just can't have that many groups open. That would drive me crazy because they never go away unless you delete everybody out. Start to finish my party, I pre-party for like 4 days. I cut it down by a day. And then I do the actual party. And then I say that orders are going to be over 24 hours later. But then I actually extended an extra 24 because I don't want to just keep posting like this party is still going on for 5 more days because it's kind of annoying. Does featuring the new releases make it easy to keep your repeat hosts happy with the same template? Yeah, I mean, nobody's ever said anything about it because they always usually say, oh my gosh, I saw some new ones that I haven't seen before. And then when they do come to a new party later, like if the new releases have switched, they're still excited as well. I do post 3 manually. I do. But you know what, guys? When I started, there wasn't ScentShare or Vallee or anything like that. I think it might have just been starting. I promoted up to senior team leader just posting manually. And I know that there's another director that that promoted to director just by manually posting. So it's definitely possible. You just have to decide that you want it. Yeah, I'm kind of crazy, Jordan.
But in a good way. Kudos to you. I just wanted to clarify, make sure I was understanding that right. And if you're staggering the times, that does help.
Yeah, I stagger the times. And I don't know how it's going to work when we move, but like right now, my kids are usually in bed when I'm partying, so it's easy for me to flip back and forth. we're going to be changing time zones, so this could get a little tricky, but I'll also have my husband back to do bedtime. He does bedtime, so that's thankfully, because he works all day and I'm home with them all day, so he does the bedtime thing. Hostess coaching process, I reach out like 10 days before. I was doing a week before, and I found like people were just like, I don't have time to do this. And like I was getting even more cancellations. So I reach out 10 days before, and then I don't hound them about invites every day, but like that first day, I just send them the message. The second day, I'll say, you know, how many, do you have any questions so far? And then the third day, that's when I'm start like, okay, how many invites have you sent? And we start going through the round of inviting and stuff like that. I like to have them in there a week before, just so I know, like for the next week, you know, who's actually going to be following through with this or not. But I don't actually start posting on the page, and that gives them time to start RSVPing and stuff too. I tell them to shoot for 25, but lately it has not been 25. I will just run whatever I can get. If it's really low, like 6, I usually won't run it. But you know what? Sometimes those parties can be very surprising. Last fall, I had a girl who was like totally ghosting me. And then finally she's like, I only have 11 people. And I was like, okay, I guess we can run it. Because she like gave me an ultimatum. She's like, can't, she's like, we either do it now or I can't do it until like January. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to do it now then. So I ran the party. Only 8 had RSVP'd. Girlfriend had over $1,000 in orders. Like I almost fell off my chair. So don't count those small parties out. Those small ones can be mighty. Like sometimes they're even better than my people that have 25 RSVPs. I do not add them into the event until they send their invites out. I make sure I coach them and I go round and round with them and try to get them to that 25. Sometimes they get there. A lot of times they don't. Again, I just take whatever I can get, and I don't want to like make anybody mad. So I'll just run whatever I can get. I know you haven't tried groups, but do you think your parties are so successful because of the event format? The fact that people can RSVP and aren't stuck in a random group for life. I don't know. I mean, I haven't done group parties. I just don't like groups because, you know, people do get kind of lazy and they just add everybody in and they're going to be like, well, the host isn't going to know who said yes and, you know, whatever. But I think that it does make them more accountable because they have to like physically RSVP to it. And also the events, like it reminds them when the party's going to go, like it sends them reminders and the host is sending them reminders. So that's like a little bit of an extra. With 20 to 80 per month, I don't do 80. I don't do 80 parties in a month. I usually book about 40, but 80, Facebook got mad at me. And that was only 1 month too. It was crazy. What do your sales look like? They average anything from like $10,000 to $15,000. Again, not every party is a grand slam, and you just have to remember that. A lot of it comes back to the host and how well they're hustling, and if they sent the personal invites, are they commenting on the page? Are they you know, actively engaging with their guests? Are they excited about it? Are they responding to you? Those all, you know, that all plays a part in how well the party is going to go. Because, you know, like I do the same script every single night. I can honestly say it has nothing to do with the script. It doesn't. I think it's just a combination of a lot of things. I think it can be a script for sure, but it's also your connection with the host's connection with the people that they invited. If she invited correctly, how many she invited. And like as far as the party, I think it matters whether you're making it personal or not. Are you showing videos from people that aren't you? It's fine if you do videos that aren't you. It's totally fine. I did it when I started. But I do encourage you to at least make one of your own, at least one, so that they can see you, they can hear you, and they can get to know you. And send them a video, a hostess coaching video in the beginning with you talking so that they can see you as well. I don't send hostess packets, but I've thought about it. I've thought about it, especially lately with all the cancellations, but I think that might have to do with back to school and August. I never call my hosts, but I do take their phone number and I take their email, because if they start ignoring me on Facebook, I'll send them a quick text and just say, hey girl, are you still interested in this? Haven't been able to get a hold of you on Facebook, because a lot of times people aren't like us and checking Facebook every day. They're just not on Facebook, and I can easily get a hold of them on the phone and or through text and get them started again. When you said show your face in the party at least once, do you mean going live? That could be anything. Even a pre-recorded book video of some of your favorites, just some way to make it your party. So it's not your upline's party or Jordan's party or Aaron's party. You know what I mean? Don't just take, like, I know I have some downline who do all of my videos, and I try to encourage them to do some of theirs, or at least to pick other people's, so it's not like you're running my party, if that makes sense. And I think that helps too, to establish a relationship when you get them back in your VIP. You know, go live in your VIP page so they get to know you. I do my mystery host parties a couple times a year, and I go live for them because they're like my old hosts and stuff, and it's fun just to have all of my favorite people all in one place. But I make sure that I can't do that every night with my schedule. Any other questions? Or anything else you want me to hit on?
Does anyone else have any more questions for Amber? Oh, there's one.
Do I follow, like, are you talking about, or I have the host do it. I'd never want to be like pushy when it comes to sales. I'd rather reach out about booking. So if they're not hustling for their party, I don't know. I kind of leave that in their court. Like, I tell them where they are, and then I give them extras if they reach certain sales goals. So I really kind of leave that up to them. Maybe if I didn't have so many parties, I would try to reach out. I don't know. I think that goes back to, like, I'm second blue, so I have a hard time doing that. Jordan, Aaron, do you guys reach out to your guests and ask?
I do three-way messages. I don't know what Jordan does, but I have my host do three-way messages and start a group message, and then like I'll follow up at the end of the day if they haven't responded. And a lot of times the guests do want, especially if they missed the live party, like it's way easier for them to just like let me help recommend a few books for their family, and then they'll jump on and place an order quick. So that's what I do.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't done that. Because I haven't found a good way to do that. I like that three-way message.
For me, it kind of depends on my goals, to be honest, and my time priorities at the moment. I mean, I'm just being totally honest. There's a limited amount of time in the day. And if I feel like the host has done that, then not usually. But if I always have my host do it. But if I feel like the host hasn't done it and I really need those sales for something, then yeah, I'll totally do it.
It totally, I think it depends too on the host. Like, I had one earlier this week, and she wasn't in it, and I could kind of tell, like, her clientele probably was not going to be buying the books. So, like, that's one that I let go. Let it go.
Well, and sometimes I'll do a party with a host where the host may not be totally committed, but her guests, I know they'll buy if they get a reminder.
Yeah.
And so in that case, I will totally take the time to remind them because I'm confident they'll buy something with a reminder.
Do you send a personal message then? Because one time I used to tag on the page, like, okay, like the last call I would tag, and I had somebody like yell at me. And so then I got scared.
So I usually, in that case, I will send out personal messages, and then I might like in a comment, tag everybody and just say, hey, sent you guys a message. I've actually been using Squee. And so now I have been using the emails that they put in the RSVP survey in the beginning. And I use a website called Benchmark. It's Benchmark Emails or something like that. And I use it to send a follow-up email. And it has like a link directly to the host party, my contact information, a link to my VIP group, all that stuff in there.
Do you follow up with them after their books have arrived? I do try. Obviously, like some times of the year are harder than others. Like fall just gets really crazy, so I might not follow up like in the fall. And a lot of them, like I was finding when I've reached out to them, they're like, "Oh, they're for Christmas." And I'm like, "All right, well, I just wasted my time." Like, so I'll follow up in January and see how they're liking their books. So it's usually like a couple months later, but I do try to do that. And sometimes I'll get bookings from that as well. I don't have a system for following up. Like I said, it's just kind of whenever it's getting slow. I might do it next week. I said, okay, so you said you messaged your guests during the live portion and ask, yep, I do. I want to book them. Somebody had also, again, those leaderboards, somebody said that you want to strike when the iron's hot. So I want to book people right when they're most excited. When are they most excited? In the party. They're seeing the books, they're excited, they're seeing everybody comment, everybody's sharing the excitement about them. So that's when I want to book them, is right during the party or shortly after, because I find that over time, that excitement will definitely fade. And even if they're on my maybe list and they book, you know, later, they might not be as excited as they were if they would have booked a little bit sooner. Yeah, it's definitely challenging. And that's another reason why sometimes my follow-up slacks too, because a lot of times people won't even respond to that. What do I say in the moment? What do I say in the moment? I just reach out and say, "Hey, Melinda, thanks so much for coming to Jordan's party tonight. I hope you had fun. Do you have any interest in hosting a fun girls' night of your own to earn free books off your wish list?" That's it. Short and sweet. Thank them for coming. Hopefully they had fun, and then I leave them a question. Is there an area of the business I focus on more than others? I do focus probably on my personal business more. I think with everything, there's lots of seasons in this business, and the seasons can definitely change. I know for me in the spring, April, May, I was really, really focused on promotion, because that was when I was going to promote to director. So I was very, very promotion focused there, wanted to get everybody promoted and stuff. And then summer now, I'm working on bookings and recruiting. And then fall, I'll be working on promotion again. I always do the booking post anyway, just because sometimes they do post on that. And I usually, that's usually where I throw in like, and if you book a party at the beginning of September, I'll give you an extra free book from me. So they see that and they start thinking, oh, I want an extra free book. Yeah, I don't know if it works or not, but that's what I do.
Amber, I think you missed a question from Amanda. She asked if you ask every guest during the party.
I just do the ones that come or buy, but a lot of my downline, I have several girls who are like rocking it. They actually ask every single person. I have in the past, like if I was getting a lot of cancellations, I have been known to go back to past parties, and anybody that like maybe just commented on the first couple but didn't comment later on, I have reached out and I've gotten bookings that way too. Because sometimes, you know, maybe they missed the party. Maybe they just didn't have any money and they were embarrassed. I mean, there's lots of reasons. I have lots of friends who hosted for me but never bought because they didn't have any money to buy. But I got them a bunch of free books for like $8. And that's a great thing too. Like if somebody tells you they don't have any money, host a party. I usually tell people the average host earns $100 in free books. And if you only get the free books, it's only $8 to $10 to ship. I mean, that's the price of one book. You can't even go to Barnes and Noble and get that.
All right. Does anybody else? Oh, there's another question.
Do you know how much time you work in a week? I don't, because like it's usually having 3 kids. It's like, you know, I work my business and then I take breaks and I feel like I'm working all day long. And I'm sure that Aaron and Jordan can probably attest to that at some point. But it's like sporadic. Like today I worked on my stuff. I reached out to everybody who's hosting with me. I reached out to some of my central group gals. I reached out to some of my first line team leaders. Then I took a break and I took my kids to the pool. So I'm not working like all the time. It's just like chunks. But I definitely touch my kid, like touch my business every day. Touch my kids every day too. Give them hugs. My kids, my oldest is going into 2nd grade. My middle is going into kindergarten. So now I'll actually have a nap time, hopefully, if Piper keeps taking a nap. My 3-year-old is going to be home with me. So I'm just going to have her this year. Honestly, if you're not getting the recruits, you're just not having as many parties as you should. The more people that you can get in front of, the more recruits you'll get. It's all a, my husband is in sales as well. He's in the elevator business, and he likes to tell me that it's all a numbers game. It's all a numbers game, Amber. It's all a numbers game. The more people that you get in front of, the more people that you will come across. And they might not be your recruit right then, but they might be your recruit in a month or 2 from now, because they're going to remember you and they're going to come back. I'm actually moving. So one of the reasons why I started UBAM is because when I moved out east, we were living in Illinois. We moved to Pennsylvania. Somebody invited me to a party, and I was like, I guess I'll go. Like, I was a big Scholastic person. Really, I had no intention of buying anything. And then the party started, and like I said, I got sucked in. I saw Natalie's video with the shine of lights, and I was like, wow, these are awesome. Like, these are so different than anything. And then the wheel started turning. I was like, I could totally do this. So one reason why I did go crazy with the bookings in the beginning, and then it just I kind of got used to it, was because my husband was traveling a lot. He has a job where he's traveling, and I didn't have anybody to talk to at night after the kids went to bed. So I was like, I will party on Facebook. I'm already scrolling on Facebook anyway. I'm in a new town. I don't know anybody. And that was one reason why I kind of started that. But anyway, we're moving back to Illinois. We're moving back. So do you feel as though it's gotten harder to convince people to host over the past year or 2? I don't think necessarily harder. You just have to know whether they are giving you an objection or they are telling you no. Because a lot of times people will take an objection, like I'm too busy right now, or I don't have any money, or I don't have any friends. Like, I mean, all of that stuff it's all stuff that I said to Natalie when I originally said that I would host. So you just have to figure out whether you are having one of those or if you're hearing a no. The reason why I don't do other types of events besides online is just, like I said, because of my schedule. My husband's schedule is kind of unpredictable. He will tell me like a week in advance, hey, I'm going to Vegas this week, or hey, I'm going here. So I can't have events like that. And I didn't have a babysitter. We had no family when we moved here, like none. I didn't know anybody. It's all by myself. I've been doing this almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in October. I don't really know if the incentive makes them excited to book a party. I do feel like once they see the books, and if you're able to engage them and show them something that they're like, or once their kids see the books, I think that that really helps sell the product. I know it did for me. Moving past the nose and getting back into it, yeah, it's just something that you have to get over. Like, I guess there's no other way to say it. If I'm just going to be completely honest, you just have to know that like a no, you can't take it personally. I'm gold and then blue. So I do take things personally. My husband's very orange, and he's like, Amber, you cannot take that personally. You have to let it go. He's like, move on. He's like, they don't care. Why should you? That's what he tells me. So I'm like, all right. So I'm trying to be a little bit more orange in that sense. And you know what? If they say no, that's on them. I know what I'm offering. I'm offering an amazing product to people. These books are incredible, and they get kids excited about reading. I know how valuable these are, not only to like my family, but to other families. And I know what this business can do for people. If they tell me no, they're not my people. My favorite UBAM book, probably Nibbles. I really like that one. Yeah. Yeah, my husband's always like, you can't take it personally. And he also he's been really helpful too. I don't know if like any of you have somebody who's maybe not in this business that can be helpful, but like he always tells me he's like, in my business, you never make a sale on the first hit. You just don't. Sometimes it takes like 10 times reaching out to people, or, 10 times them seeing the product or whatever for them to get that. I mean, hopefully it's not 10 times, but he basically, what he was trying to tell me is you don't always get the sale the first time. So if you message 50 people, those 50 people are not all going to say yes at once. I know I messaged 45 last week and I got 4 yeses. So I was like, hey, that's 1 out of 10. That's usually what they say. Or do you hear people saying that, Facebook party fatigue? I was hearing the Facebook party fatigue last year when LuLaRoe was really popular, but I haven't been hearing that as an excuse lately. I honestly don't get invited to too many online parties. Every once in a while I'll get one, but I usually ignore that stuff. And if people actually want me to come to their party, they're going to send me a personal message. Maybe I don't get invited because they're afraid that I'm going to invite them to book party. I don't know, because I might. Yeah, 1 out of 10 is average.
All right. Does anybody else have any more questions? I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
I don't think that, what do you think, Jordan, about the Facebook party fatigue? I was just thinking about that. I don't think that is even a thing, because I think people like how easy online parties are. And then with Squee, people are probably going to start jumping on there, but people are also resistant to change. So I think the whole online thing is appealing to people.
I mean, I feel like my Facebook parties in the spring, I was still having success with them. I will say that I think people have been excited about Squee because it is something different. Yeah. I feel like I've gotten good responses from my customers and hosts just about trying something new. But I tend to agree. I don't get invited to just a ton of Facebook parties. But to me, it's a really convenient way to buy something. And a lot of the customers that come to my parties are repeat customers, whether they're connected to their friends or this is the first time they've bought with me or whatever the case may be. But they're usually excited to see the new releases in a convenient format for them. They can see the videos and see me open them and see what's inside and all of that. And then they just go to the link to shop. So I think it's really easy and convenient. So I don't think it's a problem. I do think that there are some people who are enjoying home parties again. So, but no, I don't see it being a major issue, to be honest. I kind of agree with you on that.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think online parties are going to be going away anytime soon, especially like if you think about all the stores that are closing, Stride Rite's closed and stuff. People like to shop online. They just do. My parties are about 45 minutes, I guess. I mean, it kind of depends like how active the party is and if my kids are being crazy in the middle and I forget a post, but they're about 45 minutes. And I do make all my own videos. I do 4 videos. I guess my last thing to like leave you with, if you're not finding people to host parties, you're just not asking enough. So you need to dig deep and actually like get those people on your calendar to start with. And then from there, it's a lot easier to actually book from the parties, I found. So you might have to, I think it was Ian Lyon told me, like, if you want to make money, you've got to spend money. So you might have to give them some extra incentives to get on your calendar. And I think Tabitha had said that too. I know she went from a really dry calendar once to a very active one. So especially in January, I offer a lot more to hosts to keep them engaged, to get them on my calendar. January and the summer, I usually do.
Tiffany asked, any tips for finding new circles to start building momentum?
Finding new circles, I would just suggest like get out and do a vendor event or something, or find a new circle of friends. I definitely had to embrace what little orange I had when I moved out here, and I joined a mom's club, not with the intention of like selling to them. I wanted to like genuinely meet people. But I've also, that girl that I talked about at the very beginning who booked a party, ghosted, now she might join my team. She's in mom's club. So she's kind of like my little in to possibly networking with all of them. So just get out and meet new people. You can meet people at the library. One of my good friends here now, I met her at the library. Great place to meet book lovers. And I mean, obviously you don't just jump down their throat right away. I established that friendship for a good 5 months probably before I was like, hey, you know what, girl? Our relationship is kind of built on books, and I have never talked to you about my little side hustle I do. What would you think about me spoiling little Maddie with a bunch of free books? So once you've established that relationship, I think it's a little bit easier to kind of get that in. That Yeti cooler, when is it coming? My husband wants to know what incentives you use. He thinks the Yeti cooler. No, I don't use it. As far as incentives for like my bookings, I just do free books. I don't do anything else because I want them to be excited about the books. No, she's not.
Addie paid it on her suitcase. It wasn't me. She blamed it on me.
Now the suitcase stuff is coming out, guys. Jordan, did you hear that? What they did?
No, what did they do?
They, you know that suitcase from last year? Is it last year?
Yeah.
They painted fingernail polish all over it.
Sorry to hear that.
And my jeans. Like,
this is why we can't have nice things. You know what I mean?
guess whose money I took? And it's going to pay for the bedding that they also ruined. If anybody needs any nail polish, let me know. I have lots of Jamberry nail polish to give away. One for everybody.
Noted.
Maybe that'll be my new incentive for this month.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions for Amber? All right. Thank you so much for your time, Amber, and for being so open and sharing with us. Oh, there's one more question. Sorry. Last question, guys. If you have any other questions, post them on our page, and I'll send Amber a list.
Okay.
No, it's okay, Chelsea.
For your business, when you support another MLM and then they hope that they book. I honestly don't book parties with other people because I don't want to annoy people with me always wanting to sell them. I want them to think about me as a bookseller and like, you know, a friend and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to sell them anything but books, I guess is what I'm saying. I have done other parties, but I try to make it like they have to be a friend of mine. So I've done Jamberry for a couple different friends. Probably won't do that again because people don't like that product.
I think she's saying like if you support someone else who's in an MLM business, do you hope that they're going to book a party with you?
No, because if somebody invites me to a party, I'm there to support my friend. And I likewise, like if they come to my party, like they're probably interested in it. So I'll ask them to book a party. I don't know. I guess I don't like buy from somebody hoping that they're going to buy for me. If that's what you mean. Because I have like friends who like sell certain products. So I already have people that I'm like, you know, go for, but I won't like reciprocate a party for people. If that's what you mean. I don't like, you know what I mean? I just don't want to annoy my friends like with all these different things because otherwise I wouldn't have any friends, especially with all the things that all the parties I hosted. Like if everybody had an MLM that they did and I was constantly party swapping, I wouldn't have any friends left. Is that what you mean? I mean, I do have other MLM people. Like I have a Scentsy lady who supports me and I support her, but we've never done parties for each other. I just like, she's strictly my Scentsy lady.
I'm the same as Erin. I primarily invite my Etsy friends when I host for someone else.
Yeah, and I've gone to like lots of like I've done beauty counter for things. I just don't usually do it. I don't swap with people that I just met.
And I never like assume it. I mean, I do think there's something to be said for reciprocation, because if I support someone's business, eventually the odds are good that they will either buy something or something like that. But I never assume that that's going to happen. And I never like commit to a party swap or anything like that.
Honestly, it's a red flag for me if somebody books with me and then they're like, oh, and by the way, I sell 31. Will you host a party for me? No. I usually put a mark by their name on the calendar, and I'm not surprised when they cancel because I'm not doing that.
There's just too many like dangerous expectations there that can end up unfulfilled. And
yeah, I mean, if you're coming to my party, you're coming to my party. Like, you were interested in my stuff. So I wouldn't have any money left either if I'm constantly supporting every MLM person who comes in my parties. Like, I just do too many. So, and that's one thing I tell people, like, you know, if I don't have somebody in that category and I like the product, then yeah, you know what, maybe there's a relationship that might be able to be formed there. But I don't know. I hope that doesn't make me sound mean.
I don't think it makes you sound mean. I think it's
does that make sense?
logical.
Yeah. And there might be something I find better. I don't know. Like,
all right. Any more questions? I'll ask one more time. Okay, if you do have more questions, just put them in the Facebook page, the group that you're in, and I will send Amber your list. So thank you guys so much for coming, and thank you, Amber, for taking the time to share with us today. Lots of great tips, and we just really appreciate it. So thank you again, and I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend.
Bye.
Bye.